the dance of Europa's moons. The vastness of space has always been a stage for humanity's dreams, a limitless horizon where each twinkling point of light promised untold secrets. At the NASA complex in Houston, that promise materialized in cold data, lines of code, and complex graphs, yet pulsating with the life of discovery. The Europa Clipper 2 mission team, led by Russian astrophysicist Anya Petrova, eagerly awaited confirmation of an anomalous signal detected in the depths of Europa's subterranean ocean. Share your theories in the comments. What do you think the probe is about to discover? Could Europa be revealing a long-held secret in its icy depths? The tension was palpable, mixed with the excitement of being on the brink of something monumental, something that could redefine humanity's understanding of its place in the universe, unraveling mysteries that would echo through the centuries, challenging everything believed about life and existence itself. Captain Kenji Tanaka, a former fighter pilot with a serene gaze and incisive pragmatism, monitored the probe's systems with relentless precision. He did not get carried away by speculation, keeping his focus on the integrity of the mission and the safety of his team. His experience as a pilot had taught him to trust the data and make quick, accurate decisions, qualities that would be essential in the challenges ahead. Tanaka knew that the vastness of space did not forgive mistakes, and that every action, every choice, could have irreversible consequences, both for the mission and for humanity. He was a guardian, a protector, and his responsibility was to ensure that the pursuit of knowledge did not endanger the future. His coldness was just a shell to protect his interior. In contrast to Tanaka's pragmatic skepticism, marine biologist Ben Carter overflowed with optimism and enthusiasm. His passion for life in all its forms was contagious, and he fervently believed that Europa harbored a unique and extraordinary ecosystem. Carter had dedicated his life to studying extreme environments on Earth, and the possibility of finding life in a frozen subterranean ocean moved him with an almost religious intensity. He saw in Europa not only an object of scientific study, but a window to understanding the origin of life and the possibility of its existence in other corners of the universe. His vision, while inspiring, often blinded him to the dangers and challenges of the mission, which generated conflicts with Tanaka, who prioritized safety and objectivity. The colossal structure detected by the Europa Clipper 2 probe was an enigma in itself. Made of crystallized ice and of a scale that defied any natural explanation, the geometric formation seemed to pulse with its own energy. Anya Petrova, with her analytical mind and sharp intuition, was the most intrigued by the discovery. Since childhood, she had been fascinated by the mysteries of the universe, and the structure in Europa represented the pinnacle of her search for answers. She believed that the formation was not just an anomaly, but a key to unraveling deep cosmic secrets, secrets that could change the way humanity understood itself and its place in the cosmos. Her dedication was obsessive, to the point of sacrificing her personal life for the sake of science. The anomalous signal, however, was what really held everyone's attention. A complex and repetitive pattern, impossible to explain by known natural phenomena, emanated from the structure, like a beacon calling attention to the unknown. The team spent hours analyzing the data, trying to decipher the meaning of the signal. Some believed it was a form of communication, others that it was just a byproduct of the structure. But Anya, with her keen intuition, felt that the signal was much more than that it was a message, an invitation, or perhaps even a warning. She knew that unraveling the secret of the signal was crucial to understanding the purpose of the structure and what it represented. She needed to find the meaning behind everything. The unexpected alignment of Jupiter's moons plunged the team into a state of shock and apprehension. The orbits of the gas giant's natural satellites, generally stable and predictable, had altered drastically and inexplicably. The phenomenon was not predicted by any scientific model, and the team could not find a rational explanation for what had occurred. Anya, however, felt that the alignment was not a coincidence, but a response to the structure in Europa, a cosmic event that would trigger a series of even more surprising events. She sensed that the dance of the moons was just the beginning of something much larger, something that could change the destiny of humanity forever. The alignment of Jupiter's moons was not just an astronomical anomaly. It was a trigger, a key that opened a door to the unknown. The Europa Clipper 2 team, still perplexed by the phenomenon, intensified its efforts to understand what was happening. Anya spent sleepless nights analyzing data and formulating theories. while Kenji coordinated the probe's operations with military precision. Ben, in turn, observed the images of the structure with an almost religious intensity, convinced that it contained the answers to the deepest questions of existence. The atmosphere in the control room was charged with tension, but also with an unwavering determination to unravel the mystery. They felt they were on the verge of something grand, something that would change the course of history. A new era of understanding was about to begin. As the moons continued their cosmic dance, the structure in Europa began to emit increasingly intense energy pulses. The pulses were directed into space, as if they were sending a message to someone or something. Anya realized that the pattern of the pulses was similar to the pattern of the artifact that her father had found in Siberia years ago. A wave of memories flooded her. The image of her father obsessed with the artifact, trying to decipher its secrets. The coldness of his departure, the pain of his loss. The connection between the two events deeply disturbed her, raising questions about her father's past and what he really knew. She knew that she needed to unravel the secrets of the artifact to understand what was happening in Europa. Otherwise, she would regret it eternally. The Europa Clipper 2 probe, despite its cutting-edge technology, began to experience inexplicable failures. Communication systems became intermittent, sensors provided erroneous data, and the probe seemed to be losing control. Kenji struggled to keep the probe operational, but with each passing minute, the situation became more critical. He suspected that the structure in Europa was interfering with the probe's systems, perhaps as a form of defense, or perhaps as a sign that they did not want to be disturbed. He knew he had to make a difficult decision: abort the mission or risk everything to continue exploring the mystery. The future of his team was in his hands. He would stand firm. While the team struggled against the probe's failures, a colossal ship suddenly appeared near Jupiter. The ship was unlike anything humanity had ever seen. Its design was sleek and minimalist, with smooth surfaces and neutral colors. Its size and shape defied the known laws of physics. The ship emitted no signals, did not respond to any attempts at contact, and simply hovered in space, observing the Europa Clipper 2 team. Fear set in the control room. Who were they? What did they want? Would they be friends or enemies? The uncertainty was suffocating. Would they remain there forever? The presence of the ship intensified the tensions between the team members. Kenji advocated for a cautious stance, arguing that the safety of Earth should be prioritized. Ben, on the other hand, insisted on trying to establish contact with the ship, believing that it might have the answers to all their questions. Anya, torn between reason and intuition, tried to find a middle ground, seeking a solution that would allow the exploration of the mystery without endangering humanity. The discussion became heated, and the differences of opinion threatened to divide the team. They could not let chaos consume them. Amid the chaos, Anya had a vision, a clear and vivid image of the artifact that her father had found in Siberia, revealing a complex pattern of symbols engraved on its surface. She realized that the symbols were the key to deciphering the signal emitted by the structure in Europa. The revelation filled her with hope, but also with apprehension. She knew that unraveling the secret of the symbols would put her on a dangerous path, a path that could change her life forever. It was a decision that would forever change her trajectory, but she could not hesitate. With the probe on the verge of collapse and the mysterious ship hovering over them, Anya decided to trust her intuition and follow the path of the symbols. She knew it was a risk, but she felt it was the only way to unravel the mystery of Europa and discover what the future held for humanity. The team came together once again, setting aside their differences and working together to decipher the code. Hope was reborn in the control room, and the team prepared for what was to come. What was to come would change everything. Prepare yourself, because the journey is just beginning. Stay with us to unravel the secrets of Europa and discover what awaits humanity in the next chapter of this cosmic adventure. The team, now united by a common purpose, plunged into deciphering the symbols found on the Siberian artifact. Anya led the undertaking, her intuition guiding her through the maze of complex lines and shapes. Ben, with his knowledge of biology and extreme ecosystems, sought patterns that could connect the symbols to life forms on Europa. Kenji, despite his initial skepticism, provided technical and logistical support, ensuring that the Europa Clipper 2 probe, even in its precarious state, could collect and transmit additional data. The pressure was immense, time was scarce, but the team's determination was unwavering. Unraveling the symbols was the only chance to understand what was happening and avoid a disaster. They were the only hope. While the team was deciphering the symbols, the colossal ship began emitting an energy beam directed at the structure in Europa. The beam was invisible to the naked eye, but the probe's sensors detected an intense energy wave that seemed to be activating the structure. Anya realized that the ship was not a threat, but rather a catalytic force, an agent that was triggering a process that was already underway. The structure in Europa was preparing for something, and the ship was there to help. But what was the purpose of this process? What was the structure trying to do? The questions piled up, and the answers seemed increasingly distant. The truth, so close, seemed unattainable. As the symbols were deciphered, a story began to emerge. A story of an ancient, advanced, and peaceful civilization that inhabited a distant planet. A civilization that had discovered the secrets of the universe, but had also learned the importance of harmony and balance. A civilization that had built the structure in Europa as a portal to other worlds, a way to share its knowledge and wisdom with other life forms. But this civilization had also disappeared, a victim of its own greed and ambition. Its legacy was a warning. The legacy should be respected. The team discovered that the alignment of Jupiter's moons was an essential part of the portal activation process. The alignment created a cosmic resonance that allowed the portal to open, connecting Europa to other worlds. But the process was also dangerous, as it released an enormous amount of energy that could destabilize the solar system. Anya realized that the colossal ship was there to control the release of energy, ensuring that the process was safe and that it did not cause damage to Earth or other planets. They were not alone. They never were. The revelation of the story of the ancient civilization brought to light old conflicts between the members of the team. Kenji, always cautious and pragmatic, feared that the opening of the portal could bring unpredictable consequences, arguing that it was better to leave the mystery untouched. Ben, on the other hand, saw in the portal a unique opportunity to discover new life forms and expand humanity's knowledge. Believing that the risk was worth it, Anya, torn between reason and intuition, struggled to find a path that balanced safety and exploration. It was not easy to deal with their differences. The team discovered that the ancient civilization had left a message inside the structure in Europa, a message for the future generations who found the portal. The message contained a warning about the dangers of greed and ambition, and a call for harmony and balance. The message also contained a promise of knowledge and wisdom, but only for those who were willing to learn from the mistakes of the past. It was a test that could change everything. Unexpectedly, the Europa Clipper 2 probe captured an image of the colossal ship. In the image, it was possible to see the ship emitting an energy pulse directed directly at the probe, disabling it completely. The team was perplexed, not understanding the reason for the action. Had it been a way to prevent them from discovering the truth? Had it been a warning to stop investigating? Had it been just a technical fault? The doubts hung in the air, making the situation even more tense and uncertain. Everyone felt that the key to the mystery was in the hands of the ship, but what would they do about it? Tension increased with each passing moment. The deafening silence that followed the deactivation of the Europa Clipper 2 probe hung over the control room like a shroud. Anya, Kenji, and Ben exchanged glances loaded with apprehension, trying to process what had just happened. The colossal ship, until then an enigmatic figure of help, had become a threat. The trust they had placed in the possibility of cosmic collaboration crumbled, replaced by uncertainty and fear. What had once been an exciting search for knowledge had transformed into a desperate struggle for survival, a race against time to unravel the secrets of Europa before it was too late. A dense shadow hovered over them. Anya, consumed by urgency, delved even deeper into the probe's remaining data, desperately searching for some clue that could explain the ship's action. She revisited the images of the structure, analyzed the energy patterns, and tried to find some anomaly that might have gone unnoticed. Kenji, with his strategic mindset, drew up contingency plans, evaluating the options for communication with Earth and preparing for the worst possible scenario. Ben, moved by his passion for life, continued to defend the importance of exploration, arguing that the deactivation of the probe was just a temporary obstacle, and that the reward of discovering life on Europa would be worth all the risks. His faith was unwavering. Amid the frenzied search for answers, Anya made a surprising discovery. An image of the structure in Europa, captured moments before the probe's deactivation, revealed a series of additional symbols hidden at first glance. The symbols were different from anything they had seen before, complex and intricate, like an indecipherable code. Anya realized that these symbols were the key to understanding the ship's action, and that they might contain a warning or an important message. She knew that she needed to decipher these symbols as quickly as possible before the ship took any more drastic action. There was little time. The team, renewed by this new clue, joined forces once again to decipher the additional symbols. Anya, with her keen intuition, led the undertaking, seeking patterns and connections with the symbols already deciphered. Kenji, with his experience in data analysis, used complex algorithms to identify patterns and sequences. Ben, with his knowledge of biology, sought parallels with the life forms on Europa, hoping to find some clue about the meaning of the symbols. Collaboration was intense, and hope was reborn in the control room. They would fight to the end. As the symbols were deciphered, a dark message began to emerge. A message of warning about the dangers of unbridled ambition and the relentless pursuit of power. The message revealed that the ancient civilization that had built the structure in Europa had been destroyed by its own greed, and that the colossal ship was a guardian, designated to protect other worlds from making the same mistakes. The ship's action, in deactivating the probe, was a way to prevent humanity from awakening a power that it was not prepared to control. It was a warning that pierced the soul. The revelation of the message had a profound impact on the team. Kenji, always skeptical and pragmatic, felt a chill down his spine as he realized the gravity of the situation. Ben, with his passion for exploration, questioned whether humanity should renounce knowledge for fear of the unknown. Anya, torn between reason and intuition, felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. She knew that the decision to proceed or not with the exploration of Europa was not just a scientific question, but a moral one, a question that could define the future of humanity. She had to choose. In a moment of clarity, Anya made a bold decision. She decided to ignore the ship's warning and proceed with the exploration of Europa, arguing that humanity had the right to know the truth, even if that truth was dangerous. She believed that the key to avoiding the mistakes of the past was to learn from them, and that the exploration of Europa could provide valuable lessons about the importance of harmony and balance. But, in making this decision, Anya knew that she was risking not only her own life, but also the future of humanity. Everyone was at risk. With the decision made, Anya devised an audacious plan to reactivate the Europa Clipper 2 probe and send a message to Earth, alerting them to the discovery and requesting help. She knew that the colossal ship would do everything to prevent it, but she was determined to fight for the truth, even if it meant facing an unknown cosmic power. The battle for the future of humanity was about to begin. Now, towards the final confrontation. The atmosphere in the control room was of palpable, almost physical tension. Anya, with her eyes fixed on the monitors, frantically led the efforts to reactivate the Europa Clipper 2 probe. Every second was crucial. Every line of code typed could mean the difference between success and failure. Kenji, with his habitual calm, coordinated the technical procedures, guiding the team through the maze of the probe's complex systems. Ben, moved by an unwavering faith, monitored the vital signs of the structure in Europa, looking for any indication that the colossal ship was about to intervene. Time was running out, and the destiny of humanity hung by a thread, a race against extinction. With a concentrated effort, the team managed to bypass the ship's security systems and re-establish communication with the probe. Energy flowed through the circuits, and the monitors came to life with a cascade of data. The probe was operational, but time was limited. The colossal ship, realizing the maneuver, began to approach Europa, emitting increasingly intense energy pulses. Anya knew that she needed to act fast before the ship could deactivate the probe again. She had a risky plan, a last resort to alert Earth and ensure the survival of humanity. It was all or nothing. Anya directed the probe to the center of the structure in Europa, where the cosmic energy was most intense. She knew that the structure was the key to sending a message to Earth, but she also knew that the colossal ship would do everything to prevent it. It was a game of cat and mouse, a dangerous dance between science and the unknown. The probe advanced slowly, facing the resistance of cosmic energy and the constant threat of the ship. Each meter traveled was a victory. Each obstacle overcome was a renewed hope. They were willing to fight. As the probe approached the center of the structure, Anya began transmitting the message to Earth, a message that contained the story of the ancient civilization, the warning about the dangers of unbridled ambition, and the promise of a better future. A message that asked humanity to learn from the mistakes of the past and embrace harmony and balance. The message was a beacon of hope, a cry of alarm, a call to consciousness humanity needed to hear. The colossal ship, furious with the team's audacity, launched a direct attack on the probe. A powerful energy beam struck the probe head-on, disabling its systems and interrupting the transmission of the message. All seemed lost. Anya, Kenji, and Ben exchanged glances of despair, feeling that they had failed. But at the last instant, a ray of hope emerged. The structure in Europa, as if responding to the team's call, released a wave of cosmic energy that enveloped the probe, protecting it from the ship's attack. It was the last defense. The wave of cosmic energy amplified Anya's message, sending it through space towards Earth. The message reached the ears of world leaders, scientists, artists, all those who had the power to change the course of history. The message was a shock, an awakening, a call to action. Humanity finally had received the warning. A choice presented itself. The colossal ship, realizing that its mission had failed, retreated into deep space, disappearing into the darkness of the cosmos. Silence returned to Europa, but this time it was a different silence. A silence 20,9's continuous silence loaded with hope and promise. The Europa Clipper 2 probe, damaged but still operational, remained in orbit around Europa, a beacon of human courage. The dance of Jupiter's moons had come to an end, but the legacy of that cosmic dance would live forever. Humanity had been tested. On Earth, Anya's message generated a heated debate. Some advocated for the exploration of Europa, arguing that knowledge was essential for the progress of humanity. Others advocated for caution, fearing the dangers that could lurk in the depths of the universe. But in the end, the voice of reason prevailed. Humanity decided to follow the advice of the ancient civilization and embrace harmony and balance. The exploration of Europa was postponed, but not abandoned. The seed of hope had been planted, and a better future became possible. Wait, just watch. I would like to thank you for following this cosmic adventure to the end. Leave your like and share with your friends so that more people can discover the secrets of Europa.